I fully intend to have a rambling conversation, but I'm going to wait until I get through the bow portion of this epic video, just so you can cut and run if you want to. Yesterday was a lot of detail work. I have a number of bows that need to just be finished up, and now, aside from Carlos's, they're all ready to go, aside from just drying more because of sinew wraps and other such things that wet the sinew backing. But as far as I can tell from shooting the ones that I've shotted, that the sinew is pretty much cured enough. You might want to not be as rough with them right now, wait, another month, but they're basically finished bows. And to kind of force dry them, it's going into winter. It's fall right now, so it's kind of chilly. So the furnace is running, and I've got the vent below a curtain safely. Don't worry, the house isn't going to explode. And then a windowsill, which I can set the bow tip on the windowsill, and then we've got half curtains. I can lash them to the half curtain rod so they don't fall down, and just let them dry in the forced air heat. And it's relatively mild but effective. Okay, so number one, I need to get a hold of Hugh because this one is done. This has been tested 100 times, and I wound up detail work. It's a nice effect. You can see the mottled color variation. This was just buckskin, just uni-colored buckskin. Let it sit in a cup of very strong half cup. I didn't want to waste my Nescafe Classico. Let it absorb coffee and just let it dry out, and it will dry down like this. And I personally think it's a really attractive kind of aged Martha Stewart antiques technique. And I did the same thing. I took the black leather off my longbow. I love this bow. Fire hardened over coals in my grill. American elm. And then I did the same thing with that leather grip. I took buckskin, not the black leather, because I wanted to have, it's very artsy. This is very new agey. Texture. That's the secret word for today in the coloration. Now this is funny. This is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. And I thought, not so much just parade myself around businesses in downtown in my Halloween costume just to do that, but walking around in my Robin Hood costume with an actual real longbow and a quiver full of arrows, I see the irony in that, where people, oh, that's a cute costume, John, right? And here I'm walking around fully armed. Warning to anybody that tries to rob one of those stores. But yeah, I did the same thing on this one. I like that. And it's got my JR brand in there. And how can I do this? It looked like something else when it was sideways. It kind of looks like PS when I do it that way. It's a secret signal. Let me put that up there. Next up, it's this cool little bow. And you can see I've got black scallops outlined in white. Natural pigment on these. This is actually like paint, just on one side. And in the right light, it almost looks like the black disappears. I like the look of that. Get it right in this lighting. Scallops. I like to talk about negative space. And when this black disappears, the bow looks scalloped. I like that. And I went with rawhide. That needs to dry out. That's just rawhide. It's not going to be hunted with. It's going to a country where bow hunting is illegal. So if the arrow makes a little sound on that hard surface, it's not going to be anything but a thing. But you add a hand wrap to a bow with a relatively short draw or brace height. I mean, it's got a decent brace height, but it's not like this long bow. And when you add diameter to the handle, you're adding arrow paradox. And so I went with this just to keep it a nice, this is accurate bow. 15 yards, it's a killer bow. You could deer hunt with this thing. But Went with this just to keep the diameter of the handle small. And then what else? Carlos's bow is in the house. Sinew is ready. It's tillered, but I'm going to maybe adjust the tillering after the sinew, because I tillered it before the sinew. Add all that thick sinew, it bumps up the draw weight, and it might have thrown off the tillering a little bit. Very minor tillering to do on it before I go great guns on finishing that one. But the two first. You've seen this before. This is a pretty bow. The only thing I don't like about it, which one is it? This limb. I didn't spend enough time heat hardening it. It kind of goes this way, and then it's got a gink here. Not the prettiest gull wing, but it is a very effective, brutish, heavy bow. It's a nice bow. But second one, all it needs to do is dry. I just went with, I've got backstrap sinew wraps, boink, 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 and another boink. I like the look of backstrap sinew. It looks different than leg sinew. Boink, prairie rattlesnake. It's simple. The rawhide tips, it's rawhide wraps over the tips. That worked out really well. Look at that. Oh, same with this one. Worked out nicely. It's got that pretty gull wing bend. And if you watch the video where I had this strung, it wasn't braced. The very old worn tillering string I have stretches. I think it's on its way out. And so the brace lowered. That's not the brace of the bow. The brace of the bow is higher to where it's not hitting your hand. But yeah, I just went with kind of a simple, and this is not going to have pain. I like simple bows too. And trade cloth. This is trade cloth that would have been used in the day, kind of fringed at the end. This would not jump out if you roamed back in the day, you know, 150, 200 years ago, and they saw this bow. They wouldn't say, "What is that? What is this witchcraft you were presenting to me?" This would have been a bow, a good bow. So yeah, detail work. Oh, on this, I mean, the ones I've seen had the spare bowstring wrapped around here. I just used buckskin, coffee stained, and I do a few wraps. This is not the neatest. This is not on now permanently. I will, after it dries, I'll take it off and let the whole thing dry evenly. You know, just the wraps. But yeah, this is a handsome bow. Just needs to be tested. That one needs to be tested. I'm going to shoot this some more. This has basically already been tested. I've shot this a lot. So that's where we are there. Now, other stuff. Speaking about cars, so there I was. I get the oil changed in both our vehicles, my 07 Silverado and my wife's 2019 Trax, before 5,000 miles. What do you call that? Oh, I'm blanking. Old man moment. Begins with an S, I think. Synthetic. Use synthetic, which is high mileage oil, but I don't let it go beyond 5,000 miles in anything. Just because. Why not? Pay a little more now, maybe waste a little bit, pay a little less later. Right, especially with that turbo, 1.4 liter turbo in the 2019 Trax. My truck just kind of lopes around and I drive it like an old man. I drive things like they're about to break, you know, just to keep them running. I'm not a hot rodder. But went to the oil change place, and I like my oil change place. Yeah, I could change my own oil, but the guy's reasonable. He is a mechanic. It's a Pennzoil place. It's not a Jiffy Lube. It's not a dealership. It's a Pennzoil place. Good guy. I go in there. Wife's, oh, and I have to say, because I'm so good with the maintenance of vehicles, that 07 Silverado, 150, like 2,000 miles on it. In the span, almost 5,000 miles between oil changes, it only burned 1/4 of a quart. I checked it before I went in. It does not burn oil. But, and it's got the only fluids that need to be redone, the gear oil in the rear differential. It's got new transmission fluid, and the people that did it before took the pan off and cleaned it all out and then replaced it. It's got 15,000 miles on new transmission fluid, new brake fluid. It has new coolant. I just need to do the rear diff, which is a drain and fill. They're not going to take the cover off or anything, just drain and fill, you know. Don't want to get too complicated with it. But I asked them, how much would it be for a drain and fill on the transmission fluid on my wife's 2019 Trax, which does not have a dipstick? I'm sorry, that's just retarded. Retarded engineering. It's like, we don't do that. You have to take it to a dealership, and they consider these transmissions disposable. You just run them till they break and replace them. It's like, no, 60,000 miles. I want to replace the orange stuff, the coolant, and I want to replace, and I will do a flush on the coolant. I won't do a flush on the transmission, just drain and fill. I'll check around. Went to the dealership. Oh, of course we can do it. We can do a transmission flush. And I'm like, no. No flushes. Because I don't want to like drive particles into little crevices and destroy the transmission. Just drain fill. It's like, yeah, we can do that. $370. Okay. In that dealership, my wife took her Trax to the dealership for an oil change. They had to pound on that thing because they over tightened the drain plug so badly. For 5 minutes, the whole car was shaking when we were in there, and they were trying to get that thing off, and it destroyed the drain plug. Big deal, $5 part. So then I went to another mechanic that I had replaced the brakes on her Trax like 4 or 5 months ago with good components. Don't cheap out on replacement parts. We got top of the line rotors and pads. $150. Drain and fill, $150. And not much for the coolant. You know. And it's like, man, I'm not going to take a car to a dealership. For one thing, you're not going to convince me that they're not going to screw it up on purpose just to destroy the car so they can sell you a new one. And it's way overpriced, even though the technicians are getting screwed on their pay. You know, it's just, car business is an ugly, ugly thing. Well, that is all. I need to check my goldfish traps. I'm putting the goldfish that are in the backyard pond inside and working right along and just letting the turtle hibernate for a while. She's sleeping at the bottom of the pond. I'll catch her in November. And then I've got to carve pumpkins. That's on my to-do list. My wife assigns me tasks, and one of the tasks is, because I've been slacking, I've been working too much on bows, got to carve my pumpkins, hand out candy to little trick-or-treaters. And then sometime, again, I'm going to get in my Robin Hood costume and walk around and go into businesses with my long bow and a quiver full of arrows. I think that'd be funny. And I'm blending. I don't have any English-style quivers. The closest I have, you can see it up there, would be that rawhide quiver that has a Thunderbird on it. But, you know, maybe I can disguise it with some black leather or something. We'll see it. And that is my story. That is what I'm doing. Hugh, call me. Your bow is ready to go out. That's your homework. You can carve your pumpkins afterwards.